Hey everyone, this is Clinton.
And this is Dalton.
And this is the LA2 Wrestling Podcast.
So without further ado, let's get ready to podcast!
Who killed
the world? You
did
feed your head. 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 Feed your head.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the LA2 Wrestling Podcast, where we talk about all wrestling from the past, present, and future. We are back after honestly not that long of a small hiatus. We pretty much came right back after our episode about All Out, which honestly did surprisingly well. I know, Don, how'd you feel about the All Out episode?
I think it did stupidly well comparatively.
I
was
mean,
very mad.
I will say,
I'm happy, but I'm
I
mad.
will not complain about views, but I honestly surprised how well it did compared to other episodes. But thank you for listening to it. We really appreciate it overall. We were jokingly saying like, oh, we want it to stop at a certain point, but
Well, it's the fact that it wouldn't cap.
yeah, it just
Like,
kept going.
it hit 23. It's like, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Hit 26. Okay, it's got to be done. Hit 29. It's definitely got to be done. 31. Okay, so this is where it caps.
Yeah, and that's where it's at right now. But no, in all seriousness, thank you for listening and taking part in the podcast. We really appreciate it. And we hope that you decide, if you did listen to it, if you decide to come back and listen to other episodes and possibly subscribe. We do appreciate our, who listens and what we do. So thank you very much for that. But let's go ahead and get right on into the episode. So after All Out Fallout, we're going straight into Extreme Rules. We're going away from the AEW stuff. We're going back to WWE stuff. I think that's more of our comfort zone when Max isn't here. So
There's less drama.
right, less drama. That's true. Just more like lore and I don't know how to really just because the stuff we're going to talk about in a second. There's some good storyline stuff going on right now and how they're kind of coding stuff and stuff like that. It's really cool.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, story build up, it's probably one of the better pay-per-views because of what is surrounding it, and that being the White Rabbit.
Yeah, of course. That's honestly what I was trying to get at, but it's just like all the stories are kind of connecting to it.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, well, not just that, but this is also, I mean, when you look at the match card, and we'll go through it in a minute, none of the matches are like just random put together matches. These are matches that have been building up for the last couple months,
which is great. That's what we need.
Like all of them are just, it's matches that have been needing to be taking place. Some of them the last about month or so since Clash at the Castle, but other ones have been since SummerSlam, since I want to say Backlash. Some of them have gone that far. Like, the Edge Finn Balor stuff have gone back since Edge was kicked out of the Judgment Day. So
it seems
at least
like,
WrestleMania
Backlash. It honestly seems like majority of them, or at least some of them, are post Hell in a Cell. Now, yeah, like you were saying, Edge's stuff, it's going back till Backlash, and I know we're gonna get to it obviously, but I know like Bianca and Bayley, that started at SummerSlam.
That started before that, to be honest.
Yeah. And so
that started what?
Well,
2019.
That was, yeah. I mean, that was Hell in a Cell 2021, pretty much. I mean, that was a long. I mean, it's been a while because there had to be a break because Bayley did get injured.
Not 20. I don't know why I said 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, Bianca wasn't even there yet.
I mean, she was in NXT, but
yeah, of course. But
I don't know. The concept of time is a construct. It's not real.
Right. But yeah, it seems
I mean,
like
just look how fast September passed by.
that was it.
Well, let's be
fast,
honest.
Yeah, it was. Time's going fast. That's right. About to get to 2023. But
Oh, dear God.
But no, I mean, yeah, a lot of these matches have build up. There's some places, I'm not gonna name names, but some places don't really do big storyline build up. We just kind of get matches.
Well, I mean,
and I'm not saying that's awful, but I'm just saying that, you know,
what's funny is it's the opposite. Because normally people would fuss about, oh, WWE doesn't know how to do long-term story building.
well, now we're getting
This
it.
stuff has been since the beginning of this, almost the beginning of this year. So,
Well, I will say, and I'm not gonna get into all the other crap, but like, you know, this is a lot to do with Triple H and how he books his stuff, and it just because this is how NXT was.
well, most of these feuds are finishing up. I wouldn't say. Well, yeah, I mean, for the most part, a good bit of them just finishing up what Vince left off, so
Yeah,
that they
but I
can
don't
start
even-
fresh.
I
I think the
honestly-
season premiere of Raw and SmackDown, which is literally the Raw after and the SmackDown after Extreme Rules, that's when I think the Triple H era is starting,
Right.
because half these matches, I think these are the rubber matches. These are the final matches for these feuds. Maybe I could see possibly 2 or 3 going on,
Mm-hmm.
but with the way they have it set up, I feel like most of these are the finale, especially with them being in the stipulations that they have.
Yeah,
Which, for the first time since like the very first Extreme Rules pay-per-view, maybe second, this is the first time that all the matches on a card are stipulation.
right. Which honestly, for the most part, if it would be the Vince era and it was just stipulation matches, gimmick matches, probably wouldn't be that excited about. But I'm really excited about this pay-per-view.
Well, it's funny, there's 6 matches on the card.
Right.
3 of them are non-traditional WWE Extreme Rules matches. 3
Yeah,
of them
something a
are.
bit different.
Like, they're very common. Like, you've had them at, you know, either all year round because of certain pay-per-views. You have some of them that are just standard, like, feud building, like, feud ending, feud building, whatever matches. But other ones, it's like, some of these haven't, like, one of these matches have only existed, well, in its current form, one other time.
Yes.
So, oh, and actually, I think another one too. I think there's only been one other one that they've called it. So it's interesting that they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting to see all these in stipulations, because last year there was only one Extreme Rules match,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Roman and Finn, and that ended weird.
That was a weird one for sure. I think we might have mentioned it. The
Maybe,
Finn thing
I don't even know.
on one of the last episodes. Probably one
This
of the
was the
AEW
last
ones,
appearance of the Demon Finn Balor before he turned heel.
Yes.
Like, well, before he kind of left, came back as a face. I think he moved to Raw, and then he became heel earlier this year. This was, like, the match ended when the Demon went to the top rope, and the top rope fell. Like, it came undone for some reason. He was just standing on it, and it came undone, hurt his leg, speared, and that was it.
Well, I think one of my
The
biggest
weird
issues.
When
one of
he
my
was
biggest.
flopping around like a fish. We had to have talked about this because
That's
I remember
the one
talking
I was
about
talking
a fish
about. Was the he kind of just started flopping like a fish.
with the theme music during
Yeah.
the match. That was a Vince era. I'm so glad we're not having this.
But no, what I was trying to say is that's one of the big problems I had with the ending of that match, the Roman and Finn, was there was no reason. They didn't have a reason for
No.
the
For the
rope
rope to
breaking.
break.
There was
There
no
wasn't,
reason
like,
for it.
Like, say if Bray Wyatt was in the company. I think that was after he would have left and got released.
Yes, that was after he left.
So if he was still with the company, or if, you know, there was some kind of other supernatural superstar in it, you could say it was them.
But there wasn't anyone else. That's
No.
the problem.
That's what's stupid.
It
Just broke. It buckled under Finn Balor's weight. Finn Balor's weight. Someone that they don't consider a true heavyweight. If
don't
Roman
know
was
how
on
much
there,
he
maybe.
weighs, but it's not enough to break the.
He's in the
rope.
200s at least,
He-
but
he's not breaking the rope.
to put in perspective, I'm pretty sure in like the 2K games, he's considered a cruiserweight. I
Okay,
think.
well that's 205. So, I mean, he's no more than AJ Styles. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like that, you're not breaking any ropes, you know?
A quick trip to Wikipedia. His build weight is 190 pounds.
Okay, see, he's not breaking anything.
Or 86 kilograms.
He's not breaking any
no, there's
ring
no
ropes.
way. Like I said, if Roman went up top, maybe.
Yeah,
but
of course. He's a heavyweight.
Well, they didn't even explain it. It's like, oh, well, you know, the match is the last of the night. Everyone's been using a top rope. There's a lot of wear and tear. They just didn't mention it, as far as I know.
No, it just was never brought back up.
I'm not going to lie. I don't watch Raw or SmackDown or Dynamite or anything like that on a regular basis. I will catch glimpses. But I keep up. No one talked about how there was an explanation. Like, even the news outlets for wrestling, video ones at least. I don't really read the reports all the time.
I don't really read.
I don't read the report. I don't read the Wrestling Observer.
Right,
I don't read Ringside, which I don't really trust Ringside. But you know, I'll listen to it. They didn't mention it, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, a big thing is
they were so confused as the rest of us. So
yeah, I'm not gonna go on a big rant about this.
No,
but you really can't trust any of the news articles and all that stuff. You just kind of have to believe it when you see it, whether it be a return
or straight from the horse's mouth.
Exactly. And the thing is you can't get that from Ringside. You can't get that from Dave Meltzer. You have you have to see it to believe it.
Well, it's like the Malachi Black stuff. Like,
yeah,
he had to go on.
We talked about this last time. So
yeah,
actually, let's talk about this.
Well,
for a second.
that's the thing. It was after the fact. It was probably a week, 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Where he had to go and he went on Instagram Live, I believe. I know he made a statement on, I think, Instagram and Twitter. But he had to say, don't believe everything you read, because it's not true. I did not this, I did not that. Basically saying that he didn't ask for his release just to go back to WWE. And people were still reporting that after he apparently asked for his release.
Correct.
He was like, I didn't do that. The reports about stuff with my wife and this and that happening, it was just a bunch of BS. And he said, unless you hear it from me, it's not true. Which is honest, it's a fact, because unless you hear it from these people, it's not true. You can't believe everything in wrestling.
Exactly. And
any of the tabloids or any of the rumors, you can't believe until it actually happens.
And that's the thing. But when we recorded the All Out Fallout episode, we mentioned that and we talked about.
I think
him.
that might have been around the time that he was making the statement or something like that.
Well,
I think he might have talked about it before.
That statement, I think, was posted after we posted our video.
It might have, because I remember talking about
we talked about him having his final match, him blowing the kiss, and then being released. But the thing is they're not fully saying he is released.
No, and I think and also apparently he was saying conditional, but he said it's not a release, it's just a break. I guess same thing with Buddy Matthews, but it was like, we'll get back on topic because this is not All Out Fallout Part 2,
right?
It was just like, I swear we mentioned in that video that you can't take it. You have to listen. You can't just say, oh, this is the reason. It's like, we don't know the reason. Swear that we talked about that. It's like, we can't, say this is true, this is not, whatever, unless we hear it from him. But I'm not quite sure. But to get back on track.
But that is, like what we were trying to say, that is an example of not trusting everything the news outlets say. And
I don't trust Dave Meltzer half the time anyway.
You can't really say like, oh, well, this happened because of this. This wasn't brought back up because of this or anything like that. In the Finn Balor case, I think that was just poor story writing. They were trying to forget about it as fast as they could.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
For the most part.
It's like if you watch the pay-per-view or you watch maybe like a video recapping the pay-per-view, you don't know anything about what happened with that deal. And I think it's because they wanted to try to forget it as quick as possible because it didn't make any sense.
Even a year later, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, that's what we're trying to get at was that was the only match that was the stipulation of the pay-per-view, and it was weird. I'm not gonna say it was awful, but it was weird, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. So I mean, it was weird. But yes, like you were saying, we'll go ahead and get back on topic of this year's Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not going to regret saying this. I know I already said it before, but I'm going to go ahead and say it again. I'm excited about this pay-per-view. I think it's going to be good.
Me too, especially I know I'm going to miss like a match.
And I hope not. Honestly, in my opinion, there hasn't been a bad pay-per-view since Triple H took over. So SummerSlam to now, I don't think there's been a bad WWE pay-per-view other than the ending of Clash.
Well, I was about to say, the only other pay-per-view hasn't not just been Clash.
Yes, but that was a good pay-per-view.
Well, I'm just saying, like, there was SummerSlam and then Clash, and then that is.
And SummerSlam was good, because I can't give Triple H all the credit, because I honestly don't know. You know, I don't work with the company,
he was finishing up stuff, I think.
But
and then implementing other stuff.
If this was the last thing that Vince and Co. did, and they were the ones that like really like put together the show, and Triple H just kind of ran it. If they're the ones who came up with the Roman Brock thing with the ring flipping over, good on them. I don't know who actually came up with that.
Well, you know for a
way
fact,
to spice up a stale feud.
You know for the fact that it was not Vince's idea for Damage Control.
Oh God, no!
No way in hell.
That's probably a Vince or a Triple H.
No, that was. It had to be. But, well, remember, like the report was Dakota Kai had like pitched that and he turned it down.
Right.
And she was released from the company, so it had to have been Triple H.
Yes.
And Io was on her way out before he came in, so.
But with the rest of the pay-per-view, specifically the Roman Brock thing, because that was the best match they've had ever between the two. I know people they'll try to say that was the WrestleMania,
that was the best.
But that was the best one they ever had.
Like, and not just our opinion on it. If you look at Cultaholic, they literally did a thing was like every Brock Lesnar Roman match ranked. That was number one because it was the best. It was the funnest. And not just like number two was WrestleMania from this year.
So many other people thought that. I can't remember every single news outlet. I don't know if they specifically said it, but I think Wrestle Talk may have also said it.
Who all was over here?
When
it was me and you. I know. Was it Max, Chance, and RJ
for SummerSlam?
Yeah, was it the group?
It was.
Or was it me, you, and RJ?
It was me, you, and Chance. That's me, you, and Chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I swear you could ask Chance. You could ask him, and he'll say, "Yeah, that was like one of the better matches."
It was
because it was fun.
It was so much fun.
He came down on a tractor,
and it was so. Here's the thing, I know we had our conversation about the one thing, and I know it's just a small detail, but when the show started, it was I think the first match was Becky and Bianca.
Yeah, there's a trend.
But yeah, when that match started and the event started, I said they don't have the LED ring post, and you had said, well, for the last couple pay-per-views they haven't been doing that.
Well, some of them, yeah, and especially the apron. Like, well, really, it's the apron.
And I was like, maybe I haven't paid that much attention, but I thought in my head like,
maybe
they're
going to
do the ring break
again? Yeah,
like when I know Dalton, but for those who don't, know,
anytime they do a ring break or they do something with the ring. And there's no LED board for the ring post. There's no LED for the apron.
And the thing is that when the ring has broken, it was Brock and Big Show in 2003, I believe. Big Show and Mark Henry. There's gonna be a trend with the Big Show thing. Big Show and Mark
Braun.
Henry at I think it was Vengeance 2011.
It was Vengeance, yeah.
And then Braun and Big Show on a random Raw. That's the key one. That one was in the era in which they did the LED boards and the ring posts like that. They weren't there that nothing. Night. And it didn't.
And unless you were having a steel cage match, it should have been there.
And watching that episode of Raw live, I think was it 2018 maybe is that when that episode was?
Had to have been.
I don't remember. But it was when Big Show was that clean face. He looked like King Kong Bundy.
He looked like the New Year's Eve baby.
Yeah. But I remember watching that episode, and during the match. One of us
before the match,
we were like, "Oh my gosh!"
One of us said the ring's gonna break.
Exactly.
No, it's not. Yeah, it is. They don't have the LEDs, and I think also what you could tell was with that match, I think they moved the steel steps a little bit. They might have. Okay. They might have moved them a little bit just for the ring break.
But going back to the SummerSlam,
but that ref flew though.
Yeah, that was the best one. That was the best one.
I think they did like an interview with him after the fact. because he got so much attention. It's like he
Yeah.
flew. It was hilarious. Or like the week after or something. It was so funny.
But going back to the SummerSlam one from this year, there wasn't any LAD. Now, or LED, sorry. But they had it on like the barricade, which was a new thing. They hadn't done that before. But,
Well, since WrestleMania.
Yeah, since WrestleMania, sorry. But yeah, so it was different, and I remember we were like, this is weird. But then I kind of just took your word and was like, okay, well maybe they haven't been doing it. Maybe something won't happen. And then, as Dalton already said, Brock came out on a tractor, and halfway through the match, he flipped the ring halfway over with this tractor, and it was just... I know it might sound stupid, Brock Lesnar lifting the ring with a tractor and pushing Roman Reigns out of the ring. It was so entertaining to watch. And again,
fun.
I don't know if it was a Triple H idea. I don't know if it was a Vince & Co. idea. It was just a very entertaining, fun match, and I really enjoyed it.
Now on to the main card, the main entree of Extreme Rules. Now, this is, as far as we know, this should be the final match card. I don't think they're going to add anything on SmackDown. They shouldn't, at least. This should be the final match.
Well, it seems like
Card.
WWE in general has been doing shorter match cards, so
Well,
I think this is
it makes them
probably going to be
longer.
it. And also, because these have been like long-lasting feuds, there's no need to just throw in a bunch of random matches. This is a good card to have in.
Well, that's what I'm
matches.
saying.
So
I don't think
I
they're having
this
any extras.
unless there's going to be a random.
There could be a
like,
pre-show.
Pre-show. I think this is the final main card.
Let's throw Ricochet on the pre-show.
Yeah, throw
Ollie on there.
No, let's have a 2-on-1 with Otis and Chad Gable versus Braun Strowman, and then like Omos comes out.
They might. Well, they've been teasing Omos and Strowman. So.
Oh, they have, yes. Which honestly, before we even start the card, they said that Braun Strowman was going to be like a mainstay on SmackDown, but he's been on both shows. Like, I guess.
Well, he debuted on Raw.
Yes.
And then it's appeared on SmackDown. Well, they've put a lot of the superstars on SmackDown. Mostly the women, but that's, tag champs. They can kind of move around.
I feel like because they're probably going to do another brand split or drafts here soon.
Well,
I think they just
that's
don't
the problem.
care anymore.
It's
It's just star power on all shows.
they had the draft lined up and then they're pushing it back. I don't know if they're going to have it this year.
I think they'll do it, but I think right now they're just trying to put as much star power on both shows as
Well,
possible.
it was supposed to happen this month, like before the premieres.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
That was the plan a couple months ago, and then they said, well, now it's being pushed back.
Well, in all fairness, I mean,
So
everything
they might not
changed,
do it
so
this year at all. They might do it next year.
Maybe
if they
so.
continue the brands. I don't know.
Hey, I
They
mean,
should,
you
but-
do your thing. Your shows are pretty strong right now, so you
Yeah,
you do your
but
thing
they don't need
right
to
now.
slip into, like, real quick, they don't need to slip into what they used to do. They only have a certain number of people. They need to split it back up so they can showcase people.
I personally like the brand split, but I don't know what they're gonna try to do. But we'll just have
It's
to
harder
see.
with the titles.
It is, and like I said, I prefer,
Only because they've combined them, so it makes it harder.
I prefer specific rosters for both. Like,
So do I.
it's like that. I prefer the brand split, but it's like who knows what they're gonna do. They're not gonna please everyone, so you never know. But yeah, as of right now, it just seems like they're just having a bunch of people on both shows.
But as of right now, there are 6 matches on the card, and it's not really defined on what comes first, but knowing their track record for what they've done recently.
You really think that's going to be the opener? I know you're about to
Yes,
say.
I'm
I
going
don't
to say
think this.
Bianca Belair versus Bayley, ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship will be the first match on the card. You need a high-level match that is high stakes to open the show. They've done it for the last 2 pay-per-views. The Raw Women's anything has been the first match on 2
You're
cards.
right. You're totally right on that.
SummerSlam, like you were talking about, the first match was Becky and Bianca. And then Clash of the Castle was Bianca, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Damage Control, which is, if you don't know, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Should still be Shirai.
Let me stop you really quick. I do agree with you saying that this is if this were to be the opener, this is a strong opener. Bayley and Bianca Belair, ladder match for the Raw Women's
Well, I
title.
think this is what it's going to be.
I completely agree that it's a strong match. However, I don't think this is going to be the opener. When we get to the match, I'll tell you what I think is the opener. But I don't think this is going to be. I think this might be
I'm
in
just
the middle
going
of
in
the
order
card
of
somewhere.
what I think they're going to put the match card.
Okay.
Like, that's all this is.
No,
Because I feel like
again,
this is how they're going to do it.
And again, I completely agree that, it's a trend that the Raw Women's title is the opener. And you have to have a strong opener, or it's just the whole pay-per-view is going to fall flat.
I mean, I feel like I know what you're talking about.
But
possibly for the last one, or the first one. But
there's a specific match that I think would be a fun opener. But we'll go ahead and continue with this match.
But with this one, this is hard. Because you could go either way.
It is kind of hard. You're right.
Because either you take it off of Bianca,
probably.
Or you have Bayley win it, which furthers their feud. It doesn't stop it at all. And it ties back to her first main roster feud. But you have Twitter get mad. Bianca wins, and it's like...
Bianca Belair has a strong fan base. I mean, she really does.
It's not necessarily it's a strong fan base, it's just... I don't even think half of them...
she
like
does,
some of
though.
them... Well, yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. It's like... Not even her fans that'll get offended, I feel like. Or not necessarily offended, but like upset with the outcome. Because she's had it for so long. And she lost it to... I know she lost it to Becky last year of a Smackdown. And she won it back at WrestleMania. But it's like... She's had a go with the title 2 times now. I feel like they are leaning towards putting Damage Control with all the titles. Especially if Damage Control gets involved. So, against my better judgment... And against the fact that I might lose that belt, the pay-per-view title on this pay-per-view, which will be okay if I do, because I'll bounce back by the time that War Games is around. I'm gonna go Bayley. Against my better judgment, I will go Bayley.
All right, so I'm gonna make this one very. I'm gonna clear the air on my decision because it's different than Dawn's. I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair. And here's why. I'll tell you why. Number one, I need to be different than you because I want to win that belt.
Well,
but no, that's not the big reason. So, I personally think that Bianca Belair has a big fan base, and I don't actually dislike Bianca Belair whatsoever. I really like her, and I think she's a good wrestler. I thought that back when the first time I saw her at the NXT live event that me and went to, she was teaming with Lacey Evans at the time. I don't remember who they went against, but. I thought they were both really good. Now, I'm more of a Bayley fan, though. I always have been. But I think that Bianca's going to win because, yeah, you were saying Damage Control might come in, help Bayley out. But so can Asuka and Alexa Bliss. They don't have a match to do. You know what I'm saying? They're probably going to come out and do the same thing.
The thing is, Asuka and Alexa Bliss are not as tight as a unit. They don't seem to be. Because, let's not forget, the White Rabbit stuff could come into play in this match. Not
Possibly.
saying that the White Rabbit will show up, or whoever it is. I mean, we all know who it is. There's no point in hiding it. It's Bray Wyatt. It's The Fiend, whoever. Whatever character they're doing. The thing is, a lot of the QR stuff, a lot of the glitches, happen around Alexa Bliss. Especially on Raw. I think she's the only women's match. Like, her matches on the women's card are the only ones that have the glitch. And like especially this past Monday when you're watching it, it was 2 instances, I think, or no, it was 1 instance during the backstage segment with Lacey Evans and Asuka, Bianca, and Alexa Bliss. As soon as Alexa Bliss came on screen, when you're following Candice LeRae walk up, it starts glitching and you see the QR code. If you notice, Alexa has her hair down during it. Like, she looks like the goddess character, like her original Alexa Bliss. Then during the match, she has it pulled up in little knots, like she would when she was with Bray Wyatt. And I think she might have had Lily as well. Because she didn't have Lily during this. She goes back and forth, and I feel like it's because of the White Rabbit stuff. It's like something's going on, and I feel like, ooh, this might be a good idea. What if Bayley wins, but it's because Alexa turns? Because they're not really a strong team compared to the other ones. If Alexa... This is out there, because it could set up for War Games. Alexa turns. You possibly have Damage Control take up with Alexa or something like that at War Games. what if the rumors of Sasha and Naomi coming back are true, and that's how you insert them?
I mean,
You have Asuka, Bianca, Sasha, and Naomi versus Damage Control and Alexa Bliss. Not saying it'll happen, but if they were coming back and it were to be true, that could be a way to do it. You cost Bianca the match and have Bayley win, which proves herself right. You know what I mean? Like, she is, Damage Control is the top. Also, seeing the fact that Damage Control has the tag titles, I feel like they've got to set it up right. Kind of how Toxic Attraction had all the belts.
I feel like I'll be completely honest with you. That's a big maybe.
It's
but
interesting.
Also a gigantic don't know. Not even
because I really don't know if they're coming back.
Not even because of the Sasha and Naomi thing. Just the fact that I don't think
she'll turn.
I don't know. It's a big
I don't think she will.
Know.
It's a good idea just because that popped in my head.
Here's the thing with what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're saying Asuka and Alexa Bliss aren't and Bianca aren't as strong as a unit together as like Damage Control.
Well,
and stuff.
Because they're thrown together. It's so random. But
I hate to break it to you. Well, just in general, this is wrestling. They're gonna act like they're best friends and they've been buddy for their entire lives.
I know, but
so my thing is that if I'll tell you what,
it won't be the first time Asuka had somebody turn on her.
If
she's like Sting at this point.
That is true. You're right on that.
But I mean, look at what Charlotte did.
If
what was that last year?
It was last year. If there was tension between the two throughout the weeks of Raw leading up to this,
I think there has been a little bit.
Has there?
Well, I say that because I feel like Alexa's been losing it a little bit. Like she's becoming a little bit more unhinged. I think, especially on Monday.
Well, I know that.
I think a tad bit. So I think I don't think it's showing that they're gonna split, but she's becoming a little bit more unhinged because of the White Rabbit. Probably. I could be wrong.
If that's the case, then I will stand with the strong maybe.
I think it'd be interesting, but I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
Now I don't know about the Sasha and Naomi thing. It'd be interesting, but
yeah,
strong maybe. That's all I can say. But I'm going Bianca Belair for this match. I can see Bayley winning.
I'm gonna say Bayley only because I feel like they're gonna push Damage Control to the moon.
Right.
For the time being.
Well, I'm glad that we first match that we're talking about, we have two different answers. I really enjoyed that.
Now the next match is a little. I think this is the way they're gonna do it, but I could be wrong. So I feel like the next match is probably what you think is the first match. The Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch versus Imperium, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci.
That is 100% what I think is going to be.
And the match is a good old-fashioned 6-man tag team Donnybrook. Let me say that again, because that was a mouthful. 6-man tag, good old-fashioned Donnybrook match.
That is a mouthful. You are right on
Well, it's because the way they have it, it's like, okay, so the match is a good old-fashioned Donnybrook, but it's a 6-man version.
Right.
And it's not a good old-fashioned 6-man, it's a good old-fashioned Donnybrook.
6-man match.
I think there's only been one. And it was Sheamus and Drew.
Just from a few
where they accidentally put the Irish flag backwards.
Yes,
so it was a different nation's flag on some of them. You really can't get the Scottish flag wrong unless you put it like vertical.
Yeah, you really can't get that one.
But that one, oh my god, I remember so many people roasting it. It's like, I think Sheamus did too. He's like, at least somebody was represented. May not have won, but at least somebody was represented.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question to Dalton because I'm not sure. So SmackDown, this coming SmackDown.
Yes.
Is there a match between Sheamus and
Yes,
Gunther?
it is the Intercontinental title match between Gunther and Sheamus. It has to live up to their first match.
Okay. So
But yes, they're doing a title match, and to put it in perspective, they announced this title match either last week or the week before. I think it was last week. No, it was 2 weeks ago. They were building up for 2 weeks. So Sheamus could win that match on Friday. And then lead to this match.
So can I say who I think is going to win first?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the reason why.
Because this one's kind of hard too.
I think this match on SmackDown will be a good match, but here's what I think is going to happen. to build up this match for Extreme Rules, it's going to end in disqualification.
It can't. What, the tag match? Or the title match?
The title match.
Okay, I can see the title match ending, yes.
The title match is going to end in a disqualification.
I was going to say, it's a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. It can't.
Here's why. And it's very important. Just a few minutes ago, we were talking about how this is going to be the pay-per-view where they end a lot of feuds.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, this is going to be the that's going to potentially, end a lot of feuds.
Or at least that's what it seems like.
Here's the thing. This is not one I think is going to end.
No, this and I feel like Bianca and Bayley will kind of continue a little bit as well, especially with Damage Control. This one, yeah, I feel like they're going to push it again because I think the whole thing was Butch and Holland had a tag team title match, and I think Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanna Vinci interfered.
Mm-hmm.
And cost them the match or something like that. So I mean, like I don't think this is gonna go away anytime soon because one, the title, two, these teams have already screwed each other over. They just recently, Imperium just screwed over Holland and Butch on NXT.
Yes,
because they were having a match against Pretty Deadly for the NXT tag titles. So they've already screwed them over. This is gonna continue, I think, at least one more, probably. Ooh, it could spill over to War Games.
That is.
But I don't know if it'll be in a War Games match. I doubt it. But it could spill over to War Games because I don't know how either one would find a fourth member.
No. But okay, so here's my thing with it. I think that the match on SmackDown is, and I think this episode will be put out before SmackDown.
Oh, it should.
But I think this match will end the SmackDown
disqualification.
Match in disqualification. It's going to build up for this match on Saturday.
Well, they better not make it main event. If it's main event and it ends in disqualification, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
If I was in that crowd, I would be pissed.
I think maybe the the ending of SmackDown, regardless of what it is going to either be the build up to Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey, or it's going to be the build up to Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross. We'll get to those matches, of course. But I think that match is going to end in disqualification to build up this match.
It might.
This match, I think Sheamus, Butch, and...
so you're saying the Brawling Brutes?
Yes, of course.
Rich Holland.
Yeah, Rich Holland will win because it will give them an opportunity to beat Imperium without making Gunther lose the Intercontinental Championship. And then maybe Sheamus win it later on. That's what I think.
I agree with you on the result, but not the reasoning.
Okay.
I'll say this: if Sheamus might lose on Friday, but I do see them picking up the win here because I don't know. I don't feel like because Gunther could definitely not take the pin.
Yeah,
I feel like Kaiser or Vinci could take the pin. It wouldn't be Gunther.
I think it's gonna be Ludwig. Honestly, he's gonna get chopped again.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think Giovanni Vinci's gonna take the pin on that.
God, I wish they would change his name back, but I understand why.
I
understand why
the names fit.
Well, honestly, they are very not traditional, stereotypical names for an Italian and a German. But I understand why they're not.
I don't like it because it's stereotypical. I want to make that very clear. I just think that they're all because they all have different names now instead of some of them having different names and some of them not having different names. That's all I mean by that.
I understand, but I understand why they're keeping it because they just switched to NXT. He moved up to the main roster. There's no point in changing it when he was already there. They already have the copyright or trademark. Might as well use it, and I understand it. At least they capitalized Gunther. Now, on Wikipedia, they didn't. So somebody needs to change that on Wikipedia.
Make it happen.
I don't know if I can. I've never edited a Wikipedia.
I'm just talking to people.
Oh, I was going to say, if you're talking to me, I've never edited a Wikipedia. I don't know if you have to have an account.
Whoever's edited a Wikipedia before, make it happen.
I am 22 years old, and I've never done a Wikipedia page.
I truly hope that after this episode comes out, it's capitalized.
Maybe. Hopefully. Because it's capitalized now in WWE, so.
Yeah. Just
like Vulture was. But I agree. I feel like the Brawling Brutes have to win. It's their match type. And Sheamus lost the first one, which doesn't really bode well, but I feel like as a team they can lose. They're not undefeated as a team.
Great Khali lost the Punjabi prison match. I mean, that was his match.
Yeah, but this is also a tag team, so he doesn't have to take the pin.
No, I'm just saying. It's just like
yeah, I know. At least one Indian guy won a Punjabi prison, and that was Mahal.
Jerry Mahal, baby.
God, he's been gone a while too. I just thought about that.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's ever gonna get the push he did.
No, God no. But like, at least put him on TV or something.
Yeah.
But we both agree, Braun brutes. Imperium can lose. Just Gunter, he has to stay strong, I think. Especially if they might put him in a world title picture. You never know.
I gotta say, I do think it's
Gunter
funny.
and Roman would be intense.
I gotta say, I do think it's funny that it's like, I love Gunther, or Gunther, sorry.
Either way.
Either one, but they're making him out to be like undefeated and strong and powerful, but,
for the most part.
And no offense at all, but it's like he also lost the UK title to someone like 2 times smaller than him, and nothing against him. Seriously,
just a little bit smaller than him. 2, their build up for the match, he had already been beaten once and studied that, like, storyline. He studied and he was prepared. So then he beat him because Gunter barely beat Ilja Dragunov. To be fair, in storyline,
but to make him tap,
barely. I mean, I did you watch the match? Because I didn't. Apparently, it was a belter. So
I didn't say that. I didn't say the match was.
No,
bad.
I'm just saying it was intense. I mean,
on a submission,
regardless
of who it is,
you submit yourself as the top guy by making the former top guy of. What, about 3 years as champion?
About two.
I think it was going on 3. He had already had it for 2, I think. Because he was only the 3rd champion?
Yeah, he was 3rd.
Out of
there was only
the 5?
We counted Braun
technically
Baker.
4, but... Technically 4. No, I was actually counting Tyler Bate twice.
Yeah,
but
I'm counting him too. Is that not...
We had Tyler Bate.
Yes.
Pete Dunne.
Gunter.
Volter.
Same
Ilja Dragunov. Technically, that's 4 reigns.
Okay, then you get Tyler Bate, and
that's
Braun
4
Breaker.
champions, 5 reigns. I don't count Braun Breaker because that was a unification. Technically, he won the last champ.
Well, I just thought for some reason that was the 5th, but yeah, no, you're right.
I mean,
that's how math
if you
works.
would, but
yes.
Okay, but we both agree, Braun brutes.
Yeah.
So the next match, I feel like. I'm just going to say the I Quit match between Edge and Finn Balor, presumably with the Judgment Day in his corner. I was going to say a different match, but I feel like just for the sake of us going in order, we'll say the I Quit match is next. You know what I mean? And it kind of gives a balanced SmackDown, or Raw, SmackDown, Raw, a little bit. Who do you got? Because I could tell you who. I can go first if you want me to, because I think I know who's going to win.
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be Edge. Because there's no, other than the fact that it's an I Quit match, there's no reason that they would quit, you know what I mean? It's not if Edge wins, Balor has to get out of the Judgment Day. It's not if Balor wins, Edge has to leave the company, you know what I mean? It's just an I Quit match, because they've been brooding a little bit, so.
Okay. So
brewing a little bit.
Here's the thing. It can go in Edge's favor pretty easy. I'm not saying it won't.
Because, presumably, if the Judgment Day is in his corner.
Correct.
That would mean...
Now, obviously, probably Rey Mysterio is going to get involved. Because of Dom.
You're still 2 people short for that, though.
So, here's what I'm thinking. And
all the Mysterios get involved to get Aaliyah out there?
Yeah. Here's my idea. It's a wild idea, but hear me out. 2 different things. They both they revolve around the same thing. Beth Phoenix gets involved.
She could. She's been kind of teasing stuff here and there.
And then again, it's 2 different scenarios around the same thing. She gets involved, and they're attacking Edge and whatever, and she quits for him. Throws in the towel.
I don't like that one.
Or Rhea Ripley gets involved with Beth Phoenix, and then Edge quits because of that.
Ooh, I could see that.
So then it could potentially build up Beth Phoenix versus
you have
Rhea
Edge
Ripley.
being held back by like Dom and Damian Priest, and then you got Rhea's holding Beth down, and Finn's about to jump off the top rope, or do whatever he was about to do to was it AJ? I think
She might just break the piece of the chair off like Edge does all the time and try to.
Well,
do
no,
the
I think it's like because they had it
submission
wrapped
thing.
around AJ's neck, so they could wrap it around Beth's neck, and Finn threatens to stomp on it unless Edge quits.
Or to not
Because I
vilify
just thought
Finn
about
Balor as much.
I just thought about AJ could get involved in it. I think AJ and Ray will get involved in this match, and then Beth Phoenix. But I feel like you make a good. I'm still gonna say Edge.
I'm gonna say
Just because, well,
if it does happen, I don't think they'll do that with Finn because that just really that vilifies, like, makes him more of a villain.
well, actually,
I think maybe what they'll do is Finn will get the chair for Rhea and they'll try to concerto Beth Phoenix, and then that's when Edge is like, I quit. I'm done. Because it's just like that's his move. You know, or they'll do the chair thing. Like, I don't know. But that makes that doesn't
I
want to
switch my answer because I'm thinking like this.
It doesn't think like Finn's gonna attack, Beth Phoenix. That'd be a bit wrong. So I feel like maybe a concerto where Finn just maybe puts the chair down. So it's like he's still doing it, But,
Am I allowed to change my answer?
I don't know.
'Cause
It feels
honest
like
to God,
that's
no,
my idea.
No, because I feel like they might do it what they did to AJ. Because Finn, he was like, I was this close to ending your career, AJ. I was this close. Oh, I don't know. I might stay with Edge.
I'm going Finn Balor regardless. That's why. Wild
My only
idea.
thing is,
Good story, right?
like Edge winning would make sense. But in the last pay-per-view, Edge and Ray won. And it kind of made a Judgment Day look bad.
But then they got
But you got Finn in it, and it's like Finn could make it look better, but he's also going against Edge, who's I mean, they're close to the same age. I don't know if I'd say more experienced, but I really want to. I'll go with Edge. I'm losing the title.
I think that's I think Finn with that. If that's the way they're gonna do, I think that's the best. And I'm gonna make it very clear.
I swear to God, if they do what I said, and that's how the match ends, I am throwing a chair. Like, I'm not joking. I swear.
don't like the Judgment Day. I really don't. Because I just think that they've honestly buried the team. This is a way for me to get a little bit entertained by it. I think Finn Balor's going to win it. But not necessarily make Edge look weak. Just kind of make him feel like he's a face.
Well, it's not weak.
He doesn't want to see
he's quitting for his wife.
He doesn't, or his friends and his wife.
Yeah.
It's like.
I mean, Cena did it for Edge with the Authority, so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Finn Balor.
Edge, I guess. On to the next. I think the next match will be the. I think it's the Fight Pit. I think
in the middle.
That's what I think. It's either this or the Extreme Rules match. I think the Fight Pit.
I think this will be right there in the middle.
Because you get the attraction match. It's Seth freaking Rollins.
Is that what he's still under? I thought they changed.
That's what it says.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's what it's been saying.
Seth freaking Rollins
versus Matt Riddle in the Fight Pit.
He did get his first name back though. So
Yes.
That's the good thing.
Special guest referee, former UFC heavyweight champion Daniel DC Cormier.
DC baby.
As in the last Fight Pit, which was, I believe, Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle back in NXT before Riddle moved up.
Yes.
That one was officiated by Kurt Angle. Now, whether or not they could have the Fight Pit go first because of the way the ring is, because you got to get rid of the ropes, right? There's no ropes.
I can't remember.
I don't think it's a traditional steel cage. Because there's a steel cage,
but
here's what the Fight Pit is. It's like a steel cage. So it's a traditional steel cage surrounding the ring. On top, it's almost like it's got scaffolding. So where you can walk up top. Like you can walk around it, whatever. I think there's a ref up there. Possibly. I'm not quite sure. I don't think there's any ropes. I don't know. I don't think you can win by pin either. I think it's like submissions or knockout, maybe pin. I know Riddle tapped.
It's like the most. It's like the most MMA you can get without doing
the Lions Den.
The Lions Den match. Yeah.
Which really, this is what it is. It's a Lions Den.
That's
so
a little
either
different, but yes,
they do it in the ring or they do it like backstage or like on the side like a Lions Den match. They got to do something. I think there's no ropes. I could be wrong. But who do you got for this? Because I feel like there's got to be a clear answer for this.
This has to be where Riddle wins.
It's got to be Riddle, right?
There's no way. After the stuff that was going on, like, I totally thought that Matt Riddle was going to win Clash at the Castle. Like, I totally thought he was going to win there. But I understand that they made it out to be kind of like his anger towards Seth in the way that he was talking bad about his family, stuff like that. I get that it made him so mad that he wasn't focused. I get that. This is where it ends. This is it.
Real quick, the fight pit, yeah, there is. It's surrounded by a steel cage rather than ropes and turnbuckles. So there's no ropes, there's no turnbuckles. It's just a steel cage and the ring posts. And the only way you can win is by knockout, submission. It says submission or knockout, either by making the opponent unable to stand up for a 10 count or a TKO. So traditional, besides like the 10 count, really, traditional MMA rules almost. So yeah, like either this has got to go on first, or
I think they're
you
just
take down the ropes
I think they're just going to
midway
have
through the match.
Really long commercial break in between
Intermission,
this is, wherever this is on the card, and the next match. I don't see this being the first match.
Well, I'm saying it might be the first because of the rope situation.
Maybe, but
like you get that one done first, and then you like quickly hasten the.
They could totally just do a
turnbuckles and
really
everything.
long like intermission for it.
They could. It depends.
Just with maybe an interview, or maybe build up to Crown Jewel, something like that. You know, like re-showing the Roman Logan Paul stuff. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth, but yes.
But yeah, Riddle's got to win. Like he has not had a good pay-per-view win.
No.
Well, especially Clash of the Castle, he lost, so he's got to win. In DC, he might pull a Mike Tyson, because DC he was at WrestleMania 31 when Seth Rollins cashed in, and he was cheering for Rollins. He didn't want Roman to win, I don't think. I think the whole thing was he was being recorded saying, cheering for Rollins. Had like a Rollins old SR logo, like little towel or something, shirt maybe. I think it was a towel though. So I mean, there's a little bit of storyline that you could tell he could get knocked out, and or he can get pushed into how does the bro mission go? Is it just like a sleeper or something like that? He could get pushed into a bro mission, but I mean, obviously this one it's got to be Riddle. I don't see Rollins winning this. He already had the win for Clash of the Castle. Just let him get this one.
And he got the final laugh at SummerSlam when he attacked. Or I think Riddle attacked
SummerSlam,
him.
Well, the whole thing with SummerSlam was Riddle was taken. They were taken off the card. In reality, I really don't know why they were taken off the card. Taken off the card because suspected like back spasm or something like that for Riddle. And then they had the little thing where Rollins got the last laugh. And then he won at Clash of the Castle when everybody thought he would lose. So I think it's got to be Riddle. There's not really much to say about that.
This is where
it's the fight pit. You got to have him win.
This is the match that ends the feud for them.
Oh yeah, gotta be. Because these two matches,
it's entertaining, but I think this is it.
These two matches, the good old fashioned Donnybrook and the fight pit. Two of the people that were in the original are in it now, so they need to win. I think they have to get that win back. Speaking of potentially getting a win back, the next match, the Extreme Rules match, the only Extreme Rules match on the card, which honestly is not a bad thing because all of them are stipulation matches. For the Smackdown Women's Championship, champion Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. This one's tough. Only because I know what they might do. And that's put it on Ronda. And I don't want them to put it on Ronda. I feel like Liv needs the definite finish on Ronda. Because she beat Shayna clean. So I'm going to say Liv. Like, she's the only one that's been showing that she can quote-unquote go to the extreme. I feel like Liv's going to win. And retain.
I think Ronda Rousey's going to win.
See, I can see either way. Like, I know for a fact that they're probably going to make Ronda win. Liv's got to win, though. Like, why would... don't take it off Liv just to give to Ronda, who's not going to show up.
I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan. You know that. I don't know if I'm more of a Liv Morgan fan than I'm a Bayley fan, but big Liv Morgan fan. There's no rope breaks or anything like that that's going to, or any type of anything to screw Ronda Rousey over this time. Ronda Rousey's winning it because here's what I think: Charlotte's going to come back soon. They're gonna continue.
Oh my God!
Feud.
No! What does Charlotte cost Ronda the match?
Charlotte Flair's getting involved in some way, whether it be this pay-per-view or after this pay-per-view.
I got an idea.
Charlotte Flair's coming back.
Here's the finish. And they can steal... this might be the idea. They can steal this idea. I know they're not listening, but I don't care. This is the finish. Ronda is setting up to put Liv, like, top, middle rope Piper's Pit to Liv through a table. Charlotte comes out and distracts her and puts her through the table instead. Or distracts her long enough to where Liv can put her through the table and get the win. So Liv pins Ronda Rousey. I think Liv will win.
I'm still going to go Ronda Rousey, but you do have good points. But I think in some way, whether it be the pay-per-view or after the pay-per-view, Charlotte Flair is going to get involved. She's going to come back.
I mean, they're definitely not going to have anything. I don't think they would do Charlotte Ronda at Crown Jewel.
I'm just going to say... I'm going to say Ronda. I'm going to stick that.
I'm going to say Liv. We have enough. The next matches we're going to differ on anyway. I already know. So,
yeah.
I think the main event, it's got to be. This is where the White Rabbit shows up. Bray Wyatt's got to show up during this match. Karrion Kross with presumably Scarlett by his side. I don't see why they wouldn't. Drew McIntyre in a strap match. Proposed finish. We had talked about this earlier. This is how it happened.
We should have waited for this to talk about it, but we can talk about it again.
Why? Why?
What do you mean? Like, why?
The finish, or what we think.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, I wish we would have saved it to really have this conversation here, but we did have it earlier today.
Oh,
well, I'm just saying, we're going to go back
over
it, but yeah, I wish, it just popped in my head earlier today the day we're recording. And I was like, this is so smart.
Clinton had mentioned the possibility of, you mentioned Drew McIntyre.
I'm just going to say right now, I think Drew McIntyre's going to win.
You said Drew McIntyre winning. They're still connected by a strap. The lights go out and the Fiend pops up on the other side of the strap, other than Karrion.
And then Drew can't get away.
I think similar. Something's going to happen there. But Karrion Kross will win because the Fiend or Bray Wyatt, whoever at this point it is, it's Bray Wyatt, it's Wyndham Rotunda in some character, whether it be the Fiend, whether it be a new version of Bray Wyatt, an old version, whatever. Wyndham will show up and cost Drew McIntyre to win. Karrion Kross needs that big pay-per-view win to really elevate him as one of the top heels on SmackDown.
I truly hope this is having to do with the Bray Wyatt thing. It has nothing to do with this match, really. I hope that Fiend, Bray Wyatt, if he comes back, if this is happening.
Yeah, he's got to. There's no if and or buts.
I hope the Fiend is his, like, evil, like, just full-on evil persona. But the White Rabbit's still involved in some way.
But the White Rabbit can mean anything. Well, put it this way.
He could literally be, like, a... I hate to say it, but like the Firefly Funhouse break could literally just be like a magician now, and it's like, yeah.
Well, he was a magician.
Well, I'm just saying that's him now. Like that, he's just the magician.
But here's my thing, real quick. I'm sure people have talked about this. I have not seen anybody mention this. Everybody's saying White Rabbit. That's Alice in Wonderland. Yes. The song, it's called White Rabbit, right?
Yes, it is.
By like Jefferson Airplane or something like that.
Yeah.
It's basically a song about Alice in Wonderland because it mentions Alice by name, chasing rabbits, this and that. That's the whole story of Alice in Wonderland. The White Rabbit is also in The Matrix. Follow the Rabbit. I not necessarily if it's white or not, but it was Follow the Rabbit. That was the tattoo that Neo sees that makes him go to this club where he first meets, I don't remember her name. Like the main woman that's with Morpheus. Where he starts to realize that he is in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Follow the Rabbit. It's telling follow the White Rabbit, this and that. The White Rabbit is Bray Wyatt, but I don't know if it's necessarily a character. I feel like the whole feed your head, who destroyed the world
Who
or something.
killed the world?
Who killed the world? You
did.
did. All of the stuff leading up to Bray Wyatt is coming back, whether it be the Fiend. I think it's going to be the Fiend. I don't know why you would get rid of that character, especially
Such a good character.
especially with not currently, but recently they had a marketing ad on WWE Shop that had the Fiend. Why would you use the Fiend when, one, you're not selling his merch, I'm pretty sure, two, or at least anymore. Two, why would you have him on there when he's not on the company, or not in the company? Bray's coming back, and it's gonna be the Fiend, but
And it's going to be good.
the strap match doesn't necessarily end if you are disconnected, right? Like, if you're in a strap match, it only ends if you get pinned, right?
The rules change.
By definition, the strap and anything tied to it are considered legal and in-play weapons. The most common rule for victory is to achieve a pinfall, but there is a common variation where one wrestler has to go around the ring and touch all the corners.
Now,
Submissions are generally not allowed. Does it necessarily mean that you can't disconnect? I think that either Bray Wyatt returns connected to it and Karrion's in the corner because he's the White Rabbit or something like that. Like, he'll have... Ooh, I just thought about that. The mask that the guy made for Bray, or that, like, he made a merch for Bray. He made a rabbit mask. What if Bray comes back, either he's connected to it or it's Karrion connected to it with the mask, and, like, it distracts him long enough, Sister Abigail, Mandible Claw, whatever, and then he wins. So either Bray is connected to the strap or it's Karrion with a mask connected to the strap, and that's how it ends.
let me tell you a alternate theory that I could have, okay? And this goes in with Karrion Kross winning. Still sticking with Drew. But here's an alternate thing I have. They do the 4-corner rule instead of a pin rule.
I don't think they will.
Well, hear me out, because they're like
they've already done that.
They've done it before. The last one, I don't remember what was the last one that had that rule. I know
The one that I'm thinking of is like
the last one.
not necessarily the last one. It's like the Bulgarian strap match or something like that.
Oh, with,
Cena
Cena
versus Rusev.
The one
where they had to smack him.
The last one that
That's
I
what I
remember
remember.
as a full, just plain strap match. That's a strap match. Sorry, strap match. Extreme Rules 2009, Umaga versus CM Punk. Now there's
that
probably
one
been,
they did the four corners.
They did the 4 corners.
I don't think they'll do the 4 corners.
here's the
I think
thing,
it's going to be why would they make it a match between Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross and not make it a pin?
Hear me out on this. This is a wild theory. They're doing the 4-corner rule. Drew McIntyre is about to win it. Hits 3 corners, goes to the 4th one, lights come out. Or go out, sorry. Comes back on, Fiend standing in the corner. Then he attacks Drew. And then after he attacks Drew McIntyre, he takes Karrion Kross's like limp body and he just touches all 4 of the corners.
See, I thought
and
about
it's
that
just
too,
done.
but I swear they're not doing the 4 corners.
Maybe
They
not,
would announce
but-
it. They would announce a 4-corner strap match.
No, because it's just that's what it's called. It's just a strap match.
No, it's a different one. No, it's a 4-corner strap match. It's a different stipulation.
I'm pretty sure when Umaga and CM Punk did it, it was just called a strap match. But I'm
Well,
not saying that's
I'm
wrong.
just saying-
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Because
I'm just saying.
there's different variations of a strap match. There's the dog collar, a 4-corner, Russian chain, Texas bull rope, stuff like that.
But technically,
For a
those
strap match, I think they're
those are
just
different
gonna do.
matches.
But there's similar concepts because it's the strap match is what started, I think. Or maybe the Texas bull rope. I don't know.
We'll just have to see.
I
mean,
think it's just them beating the living crap out of each other with the strap and pinning. I don't think it's a 4-corner.
Whichever one it happens, it's whatever. I still think Drew's gonna win it, and
Well,
that Fiend's just gonna attack.
Especially think about if that's the main event. Why the hell are you gonna put a 4-corner strap match as the main event? You know what I mean?
4-corner strap match isn't that bad.
For the main event, that is the most boring thing. They want to see They want to see blood, or not?
You're not
They
gonna
want
get
blood.
You're not getting.
Fans want blood. They want violence. How are you gonna get that in a 4-corner strap match?
You can get it. You can
Not
get
the
in a
same
4.
way. It's not the same. It's gonna be a pinfall match, and no Fiend or not. Karrion Kross will win.
Fiend's winning it all.
Yes, So in recap, I've got Bailey, you got Bianca. We both have the Brawling Brutes. You have Finn, I have Edge, which I'm going to regret that. That's the match I'll regret.
Oh,
of all of them.
You're gonna regret all of them.
No, of all of them, that's the one I'm going to regret. Both have Matt Riddle. I have Liv, you have Ronda. I have Carrie, and you have Drew. So I think 4 out of the 6 we differ.
Yes,
Which is the
different.
most decisive, or not decisive, the most divisive one I think we've had. Especially since doing the podcast, but in general.
I think so.
And the pay-per-view title, which is just the WWE Championship at the moment, is up for grabs. One of us will walk out. Either I retain or you win it. I've got a strong feeling I was going to say bonus points if what's his face, Austin Theory cashes in, but there's no world title, so you can't. Also,
no viewer or listener, sorry, knows about this, so I'm gonna go ahead and state it. If you care about our the pay-per-view title and all that stuff, Dalton has the advantage in this pay-per-view though, because he did beat me in our own just kind of thing for AEW All Out. We did some predictions just on our own for that, and Dalton did win, which means he gets the advantage.
Does that mean I get a point advantage?
You get a point advantage. So
what was it from again? I forget.
Like, what match?
What was it?
I don't know. But it was from AEW All Out.
Man, I'm trying to think what it was.
I'm not sure, but that he does have the advantage, so he might win just by that. But we're not.
Oh,
sure. What was it?
Was it the casino ladder match? Was it that I said if it's MJF?
Yeah, because not in one doubt in my mind did I was like, yeah, this is it's gonna be MJF. I didn't think that at the time.
Are you being legit?
Yes, I didn't think.
Oh, so you are being legit. You didn't.
No,
think
what
it was
probably
MJF.
happened was, and anyone who watches AEW is gonna be like, Clinton, you're a freaking idiot. I know. I'm gonna say it right now.
I do think it was that. I think you said it was somebody else. I said it was MJF.
I also said that Moxley was gonna win the belt.
Yeah.
So
because I think I said watch it be MJF. He's the mystery opponent, which we didn't find out until the main event.
In all fairness, though, Moxley is the AEW champion right
now. Yeah.
So,
but it was also MJF.
Just saying, there might have been some reasons for Punk maybe losing the belt, but.
Well, at least we know that now either of the matches that we say could go either way. So even if we say, oh, we have the same person, it could go the opposite way and we don't win a point.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, I forgot about that, to be honest. So and we didn't record it.
I'm not going to cheat.
It's on the record now.
I would rather lose than cheat. So there you are.
And I think also, real quick, let's establish this rule. If we record it on a podcast,
it's final.
It's final.
Fine.
Now, if we don't, it's not final until the bell rings. When we don't record it.
I'm extremely satisfied with my answers.
That's just so we have it on recording saying that, yes, this is how our rules are. We need clear rules. Next time we record it, say the beginning of the video.
If anyone
this is
would
what
like
it is.
to comment some rules, maybe we'll consider them.
I mean, we know for a fact it's if we're recording a podcast stating predictions, that's the final one.
But if anyone has anything, just maybe let us know. But,
that's rule 1.
Yeah, rule number 1.
If there is any, I think another rule. This is just me spinning out there. We'll do another one. If we agree on it, special extra points can be given, but under a certain circumstance. It's like a cash in, a return, kind of like MJF, whatever it was.
But it needs to be called in advance.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We record it and or we have it written down, record it in the beginning of every predictions episode and do it like that.
Gotcha.
So, all in all, Extreme Rules, Saturday, October the 8th.
Very excited.
It should be interesting. Either way, even if I lose, I really don't care. I have the point advantage, but either way, I could still lose.
Hey, as long as I can get a good pay-per-view. I spent my 2 hours or 3 hours.
And to be fair, I'm going to miss at least the first 30, 40 minutes.
And if The Fiend comes back, I'm satisfied.
Oh, he's coming back.
Exactly.
Well, Bray. Wyndham is coming back.
Yeah. I'm just excited for any of that, so I don't care if I lose. But I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, please continue to listen and to go back and maybe listen to some of our other stuff. Like I said, the other episode, the AEW Fallout, the All Out Fallout, did really well, and I'm glad that it did well. And I hope that you decide to go back and listen to our other stuff as well. For the last 2 years, I can't believe it's been 2 years we've been doing this. No matter,
time flies.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been able to do it as frequently as we want to, but we try our best to do what we can. Please check out the regular podcast. We hope to do some stuff this month.
Oh no, we definitely are.
Halloween stuff, and there might be some video. If you're interested in, there might be some video game stuff coming up with a special friend of ours. But we're really hoping to do some stuff with the regular podcast and to continue to do some more frequent episodes for the wrestling podcast. We are in talks about different series and stuff like that we're really interested in getting in. So hopefully those happen and we're able to get into it. But other than that, I think that's going to end it for this episode. You can follow me on Instagram at ClintonWells2001.
You can follow me on Instagram at LADobrand.
You can follow the Wrestling Podcast Instagram at LADo_wrestling. You can also follow the regular podcast Instagram at LADo_podcast. But other than that, we'll see you.